What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. I am going to eventually branch off my Tesla and tech conversations to a different channel. So be on the lookout for that. What I do want to talk about right now is the Model Y and a little bit about Elon Musk, a little bit about myself, and how I choose to look at it's a good example of how you can look at a situation just like a glass, it's either half full or half empty, and that part is about Elon Musk. With Tesla becoming on track to have the Model Y as the world's best selling car, there's a lot of good there. When I look at this Teslarati article, Elon Musk projected that the Tesla Model Y could become the world's best selling car by 2022 or 2023. Musk announced that the Tesla Model 3 became the best selling luxury sedan of any kind in the world during its latest earnings call. Based on Tesla's calculations, the Model Y could beat the Model 3's record. So, this is high expectations that Elon Musk is setting. And this is in part based on the success of the Model 3. When you look at it, Model Y production rate in Shanghai continues to improve quickly, and two new factories, Berlin and Texas, are making progress, wrote Tesla in its update letter for Q1. So, this is a story of not just what they're doing right now with Fremont and Shanghai. Shanghai is going to improve production rate. That's their factory in China. Then they're going to have Berlin and Texas open up. So that's why they're going to be on track for dominance as long as batteries, which are their constraint, the limiting factor, you might have heard that term before. The batteries are their limiting factor. They don't have enough batteries to meet demand, or they would already be skyrocketing even more. My takeaway from this milestone is I've had difficult moments in my life, and even at those lowest moments, I have in my head that I refuse to fail. And when I say I refuse to fail, I'm gonna have moments where I dip and things are not good. I make stupid mistakes, but overall, I know in the course of my life, I'm not gonna fail. I'm gonna be proud of how I overcame things. I was sleeping out of my car. This is about 15 years ago, uh, after leaving a job, a well-paying job, and just trying to find myself. And I was sleeping out of my car for about a week or so. Got down on myself a lot. I was felt like I was going down a spiral. I just gotten out of college. Well, I was out of college for a little bit by that time, but I had to be humbled. I had to humble myself. I took a job as a bell attendant. There's nothing more humbling than working at a hotel. I worked at the time in Dearborn, Michigan, than really begging or hoping someone allows you to take their luggage to their room and get $2 for it. Uh, I loved the job actually. It was a lot of standing on the feet, but uh, it humbled me and kept me hungry. I just kept telling myself one day at a time, because being a bell attendant isn't what I wanted to do. If that's what you want to do, there's nothing wrong with the position, but I wanted to do something else. I knew this wasn't it for me. I got a place off of Craigslist with 5 other dudes, one day at a time, took it one day at a time. I remember not being able to pay my rent 1 month, and one of the most hurtful things that I did, I guess you could say I didn't have to do it. I could have reached out for help, but I just couldn't bring myself to do that. I still had my violin, sleeping in my car with just a few clothes items, and I still had my violin. I wasn't gonna give that up. But then I couldn't pay my rent. I was like, I have to make a decision here. And I actually pawned my violin that my mom got at a house sale back in the 80s, probably. And so the violin meant a lot sentimentally to me, invaluable. And that was a uh, tough moment. In fact, after I sold the violin, I still didn't have enough to pay the rent. I took the money from the violin, and I hate gambling, absolutely despise it. But I was just like, man, I'm in Detroit. There was legal gambling in the casinos. I was like, I just need a little bit more for rent. I'm not a big gambler. I looked up online the strategy of playing blackjack. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna keep it. I didn't do any counting of cards or anything like that. I just played it pretty much black or white to the strategy, which I don't even remember anymore because I don't do that stuff a lot. I studied it. I studied it for a good day with nothing but reading into blackjack. Went down to I forget which one of the I think it was the Motown Casino, forget which one. Went down there with all the money I got from the violin, went to the table, put it down, and flipped it into my rent and more. I'll never forget one of the security people gave me the dirtiest look. I think he thought I was counting cards or something like that. And I had a limit. I was like, when I get to this amount, I'm out. And I was there for a few hours, was up, down, and then finally came up and got where I wanted to. And I was, man, so happy. I'll never forget this. This is like 15 years ago. The security guard was just grimming me. I'm like, what the? This is not high stakes. This is not the high stakes blackjack. This is like, I don't know, $5 table. I mean, the money can get high, but not like big rollers. And I'll never forget him staring me down. I, it was unbelievable. But I was like, I got the money. Let me get the hell out of here. Those things built my character. I know that if things get rough, I can dig out. Elon Musk is an inspiration. That's what I take from Elon Musk. No matter how different his life is or what privileges he had in his life, I'm taking out that he had hard times with the Model 3. And without the Model 3, he couldn't get to this Model Y. The Model 3 was the best selling premium sedan in the world, probably the best selling premium vehicle, but a lot of these car companies don't split out their SUV sales, so you can't tell. It's a great milestone. Ignore on this chart Mercedes E Class, Audi Q5, A6. Those are not competitors. The BMW 3 Series is a direct competitor to Tesla. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. They don't know what they're talking about if they argue that. They're different types of vehicles, but they're in the same price market. If you're looking at a BMW 3 Series, you are most likely looking at Teslas as well. So it's a hell of an inspiration. In 3.5 years from zero to outselling, at least in Q1 of this year, the BMW 3 Series from zero. Elon Musk had hard times in 2018. This article is from April 11th, 2018. Elon Musk is stressed, says he's sleeping on Tesla factory floor and has no time to go home and shower. How much of this is embellishment? I don't know. I followed this at the time. I believe a lot of this. I believe he did go to the factory, sleep there, and work it out. This is a car company that started manufacturing from scratch. This is why I do not believe in Lucid. I do not believe in Rivian. I do not believe in any of these new startup car companies that are going to be tackling manufacturing on their own until they go through this hardship. They haven't gone through this. Don't believe in them until they go through this. Every startup who's doing manufacturing is going to go through this. Not the legacy ones will probably be smoother because that's what they do. But electric vehicles are different, so I don't trust them either. Elon Musk in an interview with Gayle King said, "Yeah, it's like it's we've been incredibly difficult and painful the last several months." Painful? King asked. Absolutely, of course. Yeah, I'm sleeping on the factory floor, not because I think that's a fun place to sleep, terrible, he said. He's brutally honest because that is not instilling confidence in investors at this time. The stock was way below 10x from where it is now. Sleeping on the factory floor doing why are you doing that? Because I don't have time to go home and shower, Musk responded. I don't believe like people should be experiencing hardship while the CEO like off on vacation, Musk told King. The hands-on approach is all part of Musk's leadership style. Why do you think people like the guy. He has the business acumen, the engineering background, and even science, just so knowledgeable, and he's not afraid to get his hands dirty. And then after they got through some of this hardship, he says, because what actually happened here was an incredible American success story. All these people, the Tesla team, worked their ass off day and night to make it happen, and they believe in the dream. And that's the story that really should be told. And what do you think their employee stock purchase plan looks like now? Those employees who are invested in the factory, engineers, everyone trying to make it work, and the stock has skyrocketed since then. Elon Musk does not get paid from Tesla in cash. He has money in stock options. So if this didn't go, this wouldn't go well. If this didn't happen, this wouldn't go. Period. He wouldn't have made money. The stock would not have risen. So there's a couple of things you can take from that. Some people choose to take this. Elon Musk is a rich kid from a family that profited off emerald mining in apartheid South Africa who bought out the actual founders of Tesla. He's never been anything but a self-promoter. In a way, he's always been the Trump of Silicon Valley. We are in a day and age where it's important to me not to let people portray or push onto me a defeatist attitude. There's a lot of that going around right now. And I'm all for accountability and making things right. But bottom line, I refuse to fail. Don't care. When Elon Musk was sleeping in the factory, his upbringing did not help him through that. He had to get through that. You can look at it glass half full or half empty. I'm taking the inspiration from Elon Musk and learning from that. That's all I'm doing. That is what matters the most. So Elon Musk left South Africa in 1989 at 17 with $2,000. His own father told him he'd fail and come back in 3 months. He was determined to keep his old life behind him, slept on couches of distant relatives, did farmhand and labor work, and lived very cheaply. When his mother and sister followed him to Canada in 1990, with his brother Kimball joining in 91, after he finished high school, they ended up in a small rent-controlled apartment in Toronto. When Elon visited, he didn't even get his own bed. He left college with around $100,000 in debt. He covered some of his expenses along the way with scholarships, internships, jobs, and other side hustles, basically entrepreneurial gambits. What I take from Elon Musk is that he refuses to fail. And now he is in a great position with his company, great teams to succeed. No matter who you are, no matter what your path is, there are going to be obstacles. I know this word privilege is being thrown around. You understand if you're watching this video, you're privileged. I don't care what race you are or whatever. If you have the access to watch this video right now, you're privileged. Everybody has different levels of privilege. But that doesn't, what's in here? What's in the heart? You could be the most privileged person and have that heart of steel to overcome anything. You could be the most non-privileged person and have the most entitled attitude, approach, and terrible heart. We should not be conflating the two things. And at the end of the day, I'm always thinking about my 2 kids. I want them to understand wherever you're coming from. Hopefully I win the lotto and I have billions of dollars to hand down to them. No matter what, you're going to have to pay dues. Take care.
Niggas thinking the road to riches is paved in gold. It's tripping, it's covered in shit and potholes, perils, pitfalls, near misses and aborted missions. But never forget your goals and ambitions. This is my life, it's more than just a business. Been in this to diminish mic circuits and minutes, snippets as many witness. I'm into it deep, let it seep myself in sleep. Syllabically building saliva streaks from pop beats. Live in these hip-hop fiends, even without the prospects of prophecy. On the horizon we kept rising, widening, never hiding till the day that we can say finally. I can recall almost dropping the ball, moving at a crawl, back against the wall. Oh no, hollering fuck y'all. Damn, they're ready to get violent, cause we sitting in the cockpit, riding on autopilot, seize the control. The devil cease to control our destiny. We question off the soul power, soul proprietorship. Souls pilot this ship, pirated, and inside, feeling excited. For all the nights I prayed, not for fortune and fame, just for mental strain. Back in houses for 8 a day, on a makeshift stage, ready to make this shit plain. Down in 36 deep in the cypher, one set straight, waiting on them so we can light up. Go ahead anywhere to hook mics up, we took time to hook minds up and rise up. 3 on the sack, another hot one on a cold one, maybe some 8 to King Cobra. Leisurely stroll up to A+ crib, 4 track busted, dry vocals no ad-lib, seal the shit. So much that niggas stole the shit, still seal the shit, can't even stand still with this. Gotta keep it moving, keep improving, gotta keep in tune with my inner self and remain a student. Don't got a secret, it's in our nature to progress. The only thing stopping you from taking giant steps is yourself. Your inhibitions and fears is gremlins fucking up any bitches, so get rid of or amend those. I grab the mic and show them the breaks. I got what it takes. If you didn't know what it takes is time, patience, mental preparation, documentation of due payments, disregard for defamation, sidestepping trepidation, kicking sagacious statements with the grace of geishas, engorging engagements, abhorring complacency, spelling on me, the title MC, one died by many, live up to by few, thus it's up to my crew to bust it wide open for your border. Find no rhymes with nourishment, furnish fury to freeze in furtiveness. Assertively, I inserted service, certainly, as a courtesy. Biohazard 3rd degree burning, so don't shake the green bio blood pulsate so hard it make you pulsate as I throw my tempo tantrum, kick a conundrum and stop and stumble. Rumble your rubber as you're up because we saying something. Hieroglyphics and dysfunctions, countless sleepless nights, little tights with hopes of cordless mics and bright stage lights. Battling these bitch ass MCs, only to see them kick your exact flows out on the streets. Losing all the women you dug for your first love. Man, this shit gets rough. And it's motivate. I hold the weight, we control my fate. Make moves and motivate. Thinning out that stack of dues is something that you have to do. Kill the attitude, grab the tools and start building. First the basic foundation placement. Without the base, it's all shaky. Don't let nobody else tell you how to make it. They're examples, models, using words as mottos to pick and choose when to follow. Cause most shit is bullshit. Then you got a mind of your own to shovel your pathway. Discover the fast way. Evade past mistakes, predict problems, and skate past mistakes is high. It's like that till you die. So look alive, start moving and make time.